Welcome back, everybody. This is MMA Underground Weekly coming to you live for the second week in a row. Today, we are going to talk some UFC 270, Street Beef West Coast 14, and we got a special guest for you, the Viking Warrior, who I'm going to bring him in right now. We'll get this started with our special guest.
What's good?
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time. We're excited to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to be on. How is everybody doing today?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Yeah, fantastic, man. I'm back.
Yes, we got Maddie back. He was sick with COVID last week. So before we even get into just questioning you, why don't you tell everybody what's going on with Scrap Talk? Because I'm very excited to see you, Jay Gotham, Fire Chicken, the Canadian. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah. We are all excited about the show. It's going to be Scrap Talk. Tomorrow is going to be our debut of the show. We're going to start with the first episode, just basically interviewing each other, for we can give the audience insight of who we are and what we're about. And then we're going to go ahead and give some dialogue of what we're going to be presenting on the show. Yeah.
Thank you. So I was actually I had a quick question for you. So as you're doing the podcast and everything, and with every branch, there's certain faces that you recognize. What is it like to know that you're one of the many staple faces, or the few staple faces of the scrapyard? When you think of it, you think, Fire Chicken, Jay Gotham, Viking Warrior. What's it like to be one of the faces?
Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. I love it, man. At the end of the day, we're all a big family, man, and we like to keep showing off our skills and keep entertaining all the fans, because that's what we're here for, man. We're entertainers. So we out here just to, do what we do, what we train hard for every day. And we're just here to showcase that for y'all, man.
Absolutely. I also know that being a very skilled fighter and showcasing your skills in many different times, being a 185 boxing champion, the 170-pound MMA champion. I know a lot of people it puts a target on your back, but I haven't really seen anybody call you out or try to, get in there with you, because I don't know if they're a little nervous. But is there anybody you think you might want to fight?
Well, recently somebody just called me out on Facebook the other day, so I volunteered myself to fight him. So that's what you're gonna see this weekend. I'm gonna showcase my kickboxing skills. We were supposed to do MMA again, but I ended up hurting my thumb. So, I don't really want any future injuries or any, worse injuries. So at the end of the day, we're just going to do kickboxing. So I get to showcase my kickboxing skills for y'all. And I'm excited about that because I haven't did a kickboxing match in the scrapyard yet. So it's going to be
let's see. Well, I actually was curious because I know being a fighter and having a lot of skills is one thing that people see inside the cage. But I know outside the cage, you're a fighter, and I'm a fighter, and it's hard for some people to be able to balance the two, just to be able to fight and be a father, let alone to fight, work, and all this other stuff. Do you have anything you would like to say to people trying to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, it's all about discipline. You got to get in tune with yourself, and you have to figure out what works for you. When it comes to fitness, it's really discipline in your brain, which pushes your body to want to work out or to want to eat healthy or to just do the right thing every day. It's hard, but we all can do it. We're all capable of doing it. It's all about discipline and pushing yourself daily. Like my coach told me, you have to give one to take one. So so it's like, if you want to gain something, you have to give something up, So if you want to have nice abs, you got to stop eating junk food, and you got to stop drinking coffee and all that, soda, unnecessary things, That's just how it is. You have to give to take.
Absolutely. And I have two more questions before I pass it along to, the Yankee and the Brit, Mr. Maddie and Jay. But one, I go kind of back to what you were saying with the whole diet. Do you have a specific diet that you follow at all? Because you seem battle ready 24/7.
Yeah, I fast in the morning, so I intermediate fast. I stop eating probably close to 10, and then I don't eat until probably closer to 2. You know, it depends, give and take. You know, every day you feel different. It's all about how your body feels, and you know, it's really all about that. But what I eat is basically, you know, just normal stuff. I just try to stay away from sweets. Like I'm a sweet guy. I love ice cream and cakes and donuts and shit. But you know, right before a fight and stuff, I try to stay away from all that stuff because it honestly doesn't give me the energy that I need. You know, I'm a natural energy guy. I don't, you know, take no supplements, no energy drink and stuff. So I do notice though when I do eat sweets and stuff, I just want to be a lazy fat ass, you know, just sit back, do nothing.
Right? Dude. Now, and then the last question. So you had a killer fight with Fair Play in Virginia. No one can deny that. Do you have a preference on which yard you'd prefer to go to next, whether it be West Coast or the Street Beef Dirty South?
Well, we got some technical difficulties. I can't hear
Again.
Warrior.
I was like, damn.
Oh, now Buddy's gone. Okay, we're back.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
It sounds like Viking Warrior is muted. I'm going to ask you, Viking Warrior, if you can hear me, would you just log out and log back in, and we'll get you back in a second? Thank you. All right, guys. Well, we got some more questions for Viking Warrior. Hopefully he will be back, but let's just talk a little bit about the upcoming UFC 270 since we were going to do that anyway. It's a pretty stacked card. I got to say, though, I am so excited for these title fights, and it's not to take anything away from the rest of the card because there is some real monsters in there with Saeed Nurmagomedov. I can talk real well. Saeed's tough as hell. There's Stamen is tough as hell. There's a lot of guys. So my question for you guys, and maybe Buddy, you take it first. What are you most excited to see? Like which fight?
Actually, I'm kind of excited. Other than the two main cards, like I said, the Saeed versus the Cody fight. Not just because it's someone against one of our American people, but also the difference. It's Saeed has a 2 inches on him, and he definitely looks a little bit leaner. But I feel like what the fuck, Cody will be able to take it a little bit more. I feel like you're gonna get a little bit more of a drive from him, and it definitely is gonna be an all-out war. There's gonna be a lot of pushing for each other, and I mean, let's see, because Cody's 19-4. And then Saeed was 14-2. So, you know, sometimes experience really speaks, and that one extra loss can really make the difference of how hard you push. So I'm hoping, you know, Saeed's gonna put up a fight, but I'm hoping Cody comes out on top. That's the number one pick, other than the two main cards I'm waiting and hoping to see.
All right. Well, we'll get back to UFC 270 in a second, buddy. We're going to bring Viking Warrior back in. So just start with the last question you asked him, and then we'll move from there.
All right, heck yeah, we're back again. Now, the last question I said is, if you could go as a preference to either yard, would you prefer to go to West Coast next or Street Beach Dirty South?
So the Dirty South is the one in Texas, right?
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, that is not a cage or nothing. It's just a matted area, and they have it blocked off by some. What's it called? Some caution rope or some shit. Like, honestly, like that is what we already do in the gym already. That's just combative sparring, you know. It's just it's nothing that's gonna excite me. I wouldn't go there, but I definitely would go to the West Coast. I like sand, and I fight in the sand yard. You know, that's cool with me.
Heck yeah!
All right, Viking Warrior. You're the 170 MMA champ, the 185 boxing champ. The first question I got is, what do you prefer, MMA or boxing?
I grew up MMA. You know, like I started fighting at 21 years old. You know, I'm 34 years old, about to be 35. I found fighting, you know, from a promoter. He offered me a fight, you know, after seeing me, you know, do a little something in the streets, and he was like, "Hey man, I give you $150 if you fight tomorrow." And I was like, All right, cool. You know, I'm already fighting the streets for free, so might as well. So it was a total setup though, man. He set me up with a dude, 165 pounds. He was a two division champion, had 2 belts already. He was 10-0, about to turn pro, and I wasn't scared of nothing. I walked in there, came at him with the 1, 2, 3. He ducked it, got to my back, ended up taking me to the ground, ended up guillotining me in 45 seconds, right? But I fell in love with the sport after that. I was like, you know what? I need to do this and let me try this. So my first 10 MMA fights, I went 3-7, and I trained myself, basically. I trained myself out of the YMCA or just going different places and just joining in on the fun. You know what I mean? And they basically set me up with all tough fights. My first 10 fights was all tough fights. I was fighting at all the casinos, Snoqualmie Casino, Seven Cedars Casino. I fought at the Quinault Casino, Emerald Queen, and then I went to Tennessee, fought in front of Keith Jardine and Vanderlei Silva, and Keith Jardine actually held my mitts for me, and Vanderlei Silva was awarded me the fight of the night that night. So my first 10 fights, it was a dope experience. I had a lot of good and bad times. My second fight, I got knocked out and ended up having, best time of my life. Girls was having me sign their titties. I taking pictures with everybody. It's like I was a celebrity, my second fight. So honestly, after that, I started training at the gym. I went 21. I went 8-13. I finished in MMA. And I ended up getting my knee kicked out when I was 26, and I had 12 meniscus. So then I had to get surgery. So long story short, I went into boxing shortly after. After I did Muay Thai, I did kickboxing and Muay Thai. I went 5-0 in Muay Thai and 5-0 in kickboxing. Then I found regular boxing, and I've been doing boxing ever since for the last 7 years. So honestly, I'm more comfortable in boxing now. Because I just been doing it more and more focused on my striking and my body movement as a striker. So I would say boxing to answer your question.
All right, guys. And just remember, don't forget to check him out tomorrow and the other guys on Scrap Talk. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be on Heart in the Fight. It's going to be great. I can't wait. But I'm going to sandbag you real quick. I have a question from somebody and they want to know, if you were getting into a fight with 10 guys, and could have one person to have your back, who would it be?
You already know, man. My boy Jay got him. We already done beat up a lot of people before together, so that's the only person I would ever have my back.
And that's who asked the question.
Yeah, he already know what it is.
That was a Jay Gotham special. I had to reach out to him and get a question for you because we just love Jay Gotham and we know how tight you guys are. I have to ask, though, at your Scotty Showtime fight, I saw Jay Gotham. Is that Jordan Harrington I hear in the background?
Yeah, he helped me get ready for that fight. He's part of our squad on TFW.
So I didn't know this after watching the fight, that there was an actual beef, and Buddy V had brought that up. How did that come about, man? Because I love both of you guys, so I was just wondering how that came about.
Me and Scotty Showtime. Oh yeah, it started. Just when we had an event, we was taking pictures, and one time he just I don't know. He was he needed to be humbled. Basically, he was just having an attitude like he was better than the scrapyard. He didn't want to come join us on a picture of all of us together, and I already peeped his whole energy. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, he fought Ant. And, Ant's part of my squad at TFW. So, I'm a fight analyst, and he tried to quit twice when he fought Ant. He tried to walk out the fight and all that. So, I just call it how I see it. So I called it out, and he didn't like that. I called it out. So he said, glove up or shut up. And, I glove up. So there was nothing else to really talk about after that.
Bro, you ate a shot from Scotty Showtime that I thought it was over. But your poise and quick recovery, and Buddy V and I talked about this last week, like that true heart of a fighter, that was amazing on how you did.
All right. Yeah, Jay, you cut out for a second there.
I'm guessing you didn't hear me.
Yeah, just that last bit.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, man, I needed that, man. Like, we already went to the listen. I'm a fight analyst, and I already said that, because look, I knew that Scotty only had two things going into that fight. He had one to take me down, or he has a big shot with both hands. He can hit hard with both hands. So I knew that, I had to be cautious when it came to my striking, because if he do catch me, it could put me down, or I have to just be patient and watch for his takedowns. And basically, I stuck to the game plan. I did good. I could have did some things different. I could have added, but at the end of the day, we stuck to the game plan, and it executed properly. Besides me, just making a couple mistakes, but that's part of the game.
All right.
Well, the last thing I'll say before I pass it on to Maddie is, you can't say it, I'll say it. I think you won that fight against fair play, and I love fair play, but let's pass it on to Maddie.
Yeah, so we've got a few questions that have come in. So we've got from Kenny Fugo, we have, what is your desire for your fighting career? How far do you see it going as of now?
This might be my last year fighting. I'm about to be 35. I want to go into fitness competitions probably afterwards, and do some physique competitions, because I can't get any bigger right now because I stay doing cardio. I'm a gas tank, so I just do a lot of cardio. So it's hard for me to get any bigger or any more muscle defined, doing cardio. So I would have to stop fighting to get bigger like how I want to. So my goal is to end fighting probably within a year or two,
Wow, so a couple big fights left. A couple big fights, few hundred
I
views.
want all big fights. I just want all big fights. Give me all of them.
That's an amazing announcement. You've heard it on the show. He's got one more year.
I want all the big fights.
If anybody wants to fight Viking Warrior and they have any beef left to squash with this dude, then you've only got a year to do it before the police will have to get involved if they're doing it in the streets.
You have to fight me in the street, yep.
And we've also got from Sandra Proctor, who I think Jay may know. We have a question from her saying, how did you come up with the name Viking Warrior? Which was actually something I was going to ask as well.
Yeah, it's in my heritage. My great grandfather is from Gluckland. Gluckland. And he's a straight Viking, and so it just came in my blood, and it's just part of me. Like I've been feeling it my whole life. My uncle's a big warrior too. He got the long hair, looks just like a straight Viking.
Yeah, is that Jutland in Sweden? Gotland in Sweden. Yeah. Swedish blood. Fantastic. Closer to my way, that everybody. I actually live in York, where the Vikings were from. Jorvik, so that's where the Vikings were from in the UK. And we had our New Year's Eve party in an old Viking bar. It was absolutely fantastic. So I felt like interviewing Viking Warrior today was absolutely meant for us. I also want to go back to kind of your desire to get into fighting. You were talking about having to make those sacrifices for your diet. What makes you keep wanting to do that? What is your drive to keep wanting to make those sacrifices even at the age of 35?
Oh, how it makes me feel. Like I'm totally in tune with my body. So you have your inner body and you have your outer body. And most people is not in tune with both, So it's really just making that connection. And once you make that connection, your body and your mind will tell you everything you need to know. What feels good, what doesn't, what you should eat, what you shouldn't. It's just up to us to listen to it.
Yeah, 100%. And who is the Viking Warriors pick on my fight in March on the 26th So that's March 26th. There's a fight. That's from Kenny Fugo as well. Who's your pick in that fight?
Oh, Terrifier versus Kenny?
Yeah.
Oh, I got Terrifier.
The
You know
whole
why? Because I trained with Terrifier, right? And this dude is strong. Like, he almost ripped my toe off. He tried to stomp my toe off, and how to whip my leg, whip my foot out real quick, and he ripped my sock right in half. Like, my sock was gone. And I was like, yo, this dude is so strong. Like, I had to struggle to get away from him. He picked me up over his shoulder a couple times, but otherwise I try to get away from him, man. So MMA, he's a strong dude, man. He's hard to get away from, So it's gonna be a different fight from kickboxing. He's not doing kickboxing when he's doing MMA. So Kenny, I'll pray for you, bro. You got it. You got it, man.
All right, buddy. Have you got anything to ask for your friend?
Shit.
I can't add in on that decision. I'll play. No. I mean, all the stuff that I had, yeah. I mean, I honestly think maybe. I think it's going to be a great fight, but, I like to stick to our people. Like you said, the Scrapyard's a big family, so I'm going to have to take the Terrifier. After, Kenny Fuego comes out a few more times, then I might be like, I can't speak on the topic, but heck yeah, got to come out and show some good stuff.
I feel that. What about you guys? What you guys think?
Well, all right. I never seen Kenny fight.
Yeah, me
so
neither.
I'm going to have to go with Terrifier because he's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, without having seen Kenny fight either, I'm going to have to go for Terrifier. If you're saying, like, he's a tough dude, nearly ripped your toe off, I'm going to have to kind of go with that as well. And Kenny, if you beat Terrifier and you're listening to this, then get on the show.
You got fans over here if you beat him. Trust me.
If you beat him, we'll have you on the show. How about that?
For real.
Yeah.
He's saying much love and respect to y'all. I respect the answers.
Actually, him and Terrifier are going to be on next week.
Oh, that's dope.
That's right.
Terrifier both on next week with us, dropping some WWE style promos. But I got to say, I'm riding with Terrifier too, because anybody who knows me knows I'm a homer, and he's from Wisconsin.
Yep.
Good to know. Now, Viking Warrior, I did have a quick question. Now, I see, like, because, I follow you on social media and stuff. I see that, you'll train with 7th Street Boxing Gym, training for Warriors, Team Prosciutto. You go running a lot on your own. Do you like having the diversity? Because you feel like you could, you get, like, a mix of stuff from one gym versus another that makes you, like, a complete package? Or do you just do that because you really, truly enjoy, fighting and training everywhere you can?
So what I realized is that balance is everything in life, right? So you have to learn from different individuals and learn from different styles and make it apply to you, because we're all everybody's body is different. We all built differently. We all move differently. So not one style is made for one person. So it's good to be open-minded to all different styles, and you never know how you're going to do unless you go ahead and train those different styles, or at least give it a try. Like Buddy V was out with us on Saturday, boxing with us. I never thought I'd see him out there, but he was out there against some studs. He was against Dedrick Coleman. He's a 2-time national champion, and Buddy was out there with him. Yeah, they wasn't going their hardest on Buddy, but they definitely was giving him good looks and making him, feel how it is against a more experienced fighter, and that's what we need. We need to go against people that's gonna kick our asses and not just play touch butt in the park with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody could tap, play around, like, and look good, but it's like you have to have full contact and come with some power, at least 80% power, so you could feel how it feels to, basically get taken advantage of. So when you get put in a predicament and you are getting taken advantage of, you would know how to adjust and know how to, make the correct moves, So yes, it's better to jump around, man. It's better to learn from, multiple individuals than just one.
I didn't realize how good. Like I knew he was great, but then when I stepped in the ring with him, and then I saw him spar with everyone else, I was like, man, he could have knocked me out so cold so many times.
Oh,
But yeah, he pushed me. He pushed me, and that was a great gym. I'm going back there for sure. I've been trying to get out to TFW for a while, but I'll be going back to the 7th Street Boxing Gym for sure.
That's dope. What about you guys? You guys ever trained before?
I've done a little bit of boxing. I'm more of a rugby guy myself, to be perfectly honest. So I've gotten a few scraps before, but more under the guise of a referee saying you're not allowed to hit each other. And then my big friends in the rugby team come and help me out is more is more where I'm at. I make friends who can fight for me, Viking Warrior. That's how I fight instead.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it, man. You gotta have them tough guys so you don't have to be tough.
Right.
For me, it was just wrestling and street fights in high school. So, and now I'm 43 out of shape, so I ain't trying to fight nobody.
Yeah, I feel it. He said we can have donut parties, not no fight parties.
I mean, I'm 24 and out of shape. When Viking Warrior was talking about all the sacrifices you have to make, I was like thinking, oh shit, I should really start making some fucking sacrifices, man, because this is not looking good.
It is.
But unfortunately I work in a chocolate shop, so that's not always gonna help. So I work in a chocolate shop on Saturdays, and then I'm a teacher from Monday through Friday, so no time to do any workouts or anything like that. But I think, Viking Warrior, we're gonna let you go because you've been an absolutely fantastic guest, and we don't want to take up any more of your time.
It's all good, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to keep showing off for y'all, man. So if you want to have me back on, just let me know. I'd love to be back on.
Absolutely, man. That was awesome. I appreciate you coming on. Hell yeah,
we love it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all, fellas. You have a great day.
All right, cheers. Cheers. Thank you.
You too.
Yeah, I mean, what a fantastic,
pretty awesome interview.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what a fantastic interview. I mean, they're the kind of guys that we love talking to. Those street beef guys who make their way up through street beef. So that's how we kind of got this stuff started. If you guys haven't been able to tell yet, Jay's suffering a few technical issues right now, and he's working through them. The cold weather in Green Bay is clearly messing with him a little bit. But I mean, what a fantastic interview, and a tough guy, man, like a rough guy.
And he's humble at the same time. Like I've seen them spar with some people too, and it's like I've seen even Jay got him. It's like when they got him against the ropes and they're breathing hard, they can sit there and just go to town on you. And they'll sit there and then they'll just go to work, go to work. Come on, push, and they're not sitting there trying to hurt you. They're trying to push you past your limits. And it's like it takes a real good person to be able to be a killer in the cage and sit there and not just destroy you because they can.
Well, let's get back to some UFC 270 because we talked that there's some good fights coming up, but I'm really, really excited for the championship bouts. And I'm not usually that guy who just goes into a UFC for the championship bouts. But if you look at the flyweight, both these guys were, Figueroa, former champion, Moreno, current champion. There's a lot of beef here because of this is their third fight. But I got to say, I think Moreno's going to win this again.
Oh, absolutely. I think sometimes some people are saying like Figueroa is going to win because what? It was Henry Cejudo was training with Moreno, and they think that, they might be able to bring him a little extra, whatever. He has these techniques. He knows how to bait him in and stuff. But, Moreno, I feel like he definitely shows that resilience, and he's got that heart. I mean, he's just ready to go. And if he keeps the same mentality from his last fight, I agree with you. He's definitely going to come out on top.
I think Figueroa's only chance is that he's got nasty elbows from the clinch and that he's got some power. But both of them have a really good ground game. And it seemed to me, even the first two fights, that Moreno can outbox him if he doesn't get caught.
Yeah, you could see the power from both of them, but like I feel like Moreno's got a little bit more of a chin because he got hit with a few of those where I was like, oh dang, he's gonna get it, and he turns around, he's throwing one right back and getting it. Whereas Figueroa, like the last fight when he got clocked with one of them, and once that one connected real solid, he was just down for a second. So
yeah, I mean, I've been watching a few highlights and I've kind of been looking at the stats because you guys are the UFC fans, but I've been really looking at the stats. And in this Moreno Figueroa fight, I mean, Figueroa does that have the takedown percentage accuracy advantage on Moreno, and I think that's always a big thing to be able to accurately execute your skills.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, Figueroa has very good power, his striking, his knees, his elbows. But the issue is, can he land them? He has the technique, but will you be able to use them effectively? Because, I mean, you can train all the punches in the world, but if you're not making contact or someone's a little bit faster than you, what are you really going to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, the fight that I'm really looking forward to, and Jay knows this, and British people are all like this as well. It's the heavyweight bouts for us. Like, that's where we're at with this. We've always had great heavyweight boxers. Any heavyweight bout, we like to see a big dude smashing into another big dude. So what are your guys' takes on the Ngannou versus Gane fight?
Oh, I mean, it's so cool.
I got Gane winning this fight because of his footwork. I got him winning this fight because he's got a great ground game, and I think that his leg kicks. But don't get me wrong, Francis is a fucking monster, and Francis got great ground defense. And if he hits you, you're gonna crumble. But the way Gane has been training and fighting, and just watching his movement and his footwork, I think Gane might win this. But I know a lot of people on the MMA sites think I'm a fucking idiot for saying that.
Now, I actually agree with you because I was looking up some of the betting centers, and Gane is minus 155 and Ngannou is plus 135. But I'm not surprised for the records and how they hold. But Gane is coming off a 10-win streak. He hasn't lost a single match yet. He's hungry, like I said, his footwork is there, and just like we just said with the other match, Ngannou has that power. But if he's outclassed through speed with technique, what could he really put to use? I mean, I've seen some of those training videos I had, even like on the live when they were doing like the countdown and stuff. And Ngannou, when they were training partners, was doing a lot more than Ngannou than he was back. And if they're fine tuning over all these years, they're able to establish their art to a much higher level. I mean, is there going to be? I feel like their gap might be a little bit of a difference.
I just think from watching the highlight reel of Francis Ngannou, and I've seen him on YouTube videos and YouTube shows. So things like Jeff Wittick's Barbershop, for example, he did an interview on there, and the dude is like, I hope this makes him feel happy because I was terrified just watching him. Like, the guy is an absolute monster. Jay knows when we talk about football, I'm taking the monster more times than not. I'm taking a guy who, if you kind of step into a ring, there's just some people who are just absolutely out of this world animals, and he also has a bit more experience than Gane as well. So I think I'm going to take Ngannou in that one.
Hey, I can dig it. Heck yeah.
Well, buddy, this is a question I got for you as a fighter. Being that Gane is strong as hell, he's an in-shape heavyweight. His speed and elusiveness, like, that's got to be really hard for a fighter to deal with, too, as a guy who's a lot faster than you.
Yeah. Because, like, when you have a fighter that's a lot faster than you, it's really frustrating because, you've been practicing these moves, but then while you're going, you can sit there and headhunt, and they're going to just boom, 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 bob and weave. They're going to stay right out of range, and it's going to get so frustrating. And Gane can use that to his advantage. I mean, he could get under Ngannou's head. I feel like that's happened with me to where you have a game plan. And if you can't utilize what you've been practicing, then you have to revert to plan B, and that doesn't always work for you. Because if I have somebody that's way faster than me and I can't make my strikes effective, okay, well, I got to take him to the ground game since obviously that's not working. But if he's faster than me, he's going to be more squirrely. He's going to get on my back twice as fast. So every opening, that leaves very minimal chances for errors on my end, and it makes my job that much harder, I feel like. And Ngannou's going to be in the same boat. He's got that speed, but he's got that power. But if he can't utilize that power, he's going to have to come around and switch everything up.
And let's not underestimate the fact that Ngannou actually has to cut weight to make 265, where Gane doesn't have to cut weight. So cutting weight can also really drain on you as a fighter. And as soon as we say all of this, it's going to be a 9-second fight with Francis crushing Gane's face, right? Like that's
right. Oh,
face.
yeah,
I keep mispronouncing the
But I mean,
man's
we've
name.
spoken about it. We've spoken about it with a lot of fighters. We've had a lot of fighters on this show who say the worst part of their training session, it's especially with a lot of the women fighters we've been able to do where they're going to pro fights and stuff. But they're having to cut weight to get into those pro fights because there's not enough pro fights in their division. That cutting weight is so difficult on a lot of them. I remember one story we had on here is a woman had to sit in the sauna in body wrap to just sweat it all out. And by the time she sweated down the weight, she just wasn't ready to fight when she got in the ring because she'd lost all of her power from cutting all the weight. And if you have to cut, then that's a serious drain on your body. I think that's a really important thing to consider. But I mean, the dude's huge. Like,
yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of body fat. It's like he's got a big old belly or anything like that. I mean, at that point, well, you got maybe probably 8 pounds of food, 10 pounds of food in your system. He's probably got 10, 15 pounds worth of water. You cut all that, then yeah, he's losing all that power, all those nutrients, and he might not be as lucrative as he hopes to be. I mean, weight cutting really sucks. It takes so much out of you. That's why I choose not to try to cut too much, or if I do, it'll be gradual because luckily with Street Beast, it's not mandatory. You don't have to cut. It's not pro.
Alternatively, though, he's lost the weight ridiculously well and is now just 119 kilograms of pure muscle, which can more than happen. I don't know what that is in pounds, guys. I'm sorry. It's 119 kilograms over here.
Well, I will also say I wonder if his contract problems with the UFC are more on his mind than the fight, too, because he wants more money. He's been very vocal that he's done fighting for about $500,000 a fight and that he wants to be paid. And he turned down some fights, so we have an interim champion in Gane. And he was off for a long time. And I'm not a fighter, but I feel like if me and Maddie take a week off for podcasting, it's rough getting back into it. So let alone being a fighter, that just the feel and the flow of everything. I wonder if everything he's got going on with Dana is an issue going into this fight also. But you just never know where a guy's head's at.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. I think that's 1,000%. When you have too many other things on your mind, you don't focus on your fight. You don't focus on your training. You're too busy either trying to be a celebrity or to make these other deals or go out and enjoy life, which there's nothing wrong with it. But if you're a fighter, then, you have to stay in your tip-top shape, and every single little thing really does affect it. I mean, there was one fight we had on one big man road. Someone came out, and they were going to fight, and they had a family member unfortunately passed, and they didn't want to. They were in the cage ready to go, and they're like, we can. It's like that whole thing, it just triggers different emotions. And some people can hold out. Some people, unfortunately are not able to, or some stuff, it's like when it processes, it's just so rough right away. You need that time. And I think sometimes we forget that fighters are people too, because we're just so used to seeing them in the cage, on TV, on YouTube, whatever.
Well, Maddie, I think you're the only one going with Ngannou, but maybe you'll be the one who's right.
Hey, I'm usually good with this beginner's luck shit. It's like when we were looking at the playoffs last year when we first started this channel, I didn't lose a playoff pick until the AFC Championship game. And now I've lost 2 playoff picks in the first time because I don't have the beginner's luck this year. But yeah, as my first UFC picks from watching a lot of highlight reel of Ngannou, because I like watching big dudes punch other big dudes, then I feel like just his experience might get him over the edge. It's the same with Tom Brady, as we were talking about in the playoffs in our latest video.
Heck yeah. I feel like the fun thing about heavyweights too is you actually get to see good action. You can hear the connects. Sometimes when you get lighter and lighter, it's cool. You hear a quick little smack, but then it ends up just being a tornado of them just like around the ring.
Yeah, you don't get as much action, but the action that you do get.
Well, besides the Derek Lewis fight, Ngannou's always got movement and action, but that Derek Lewis fight, both of them were afraid to throw a punch. That was weird. But God never stops. He never stops moving, which is going to make Francis keep moving too. I think it's going to be a great fight, and I want to see if Francis can go the distance if it goes to 5 rounds. Like, how much cardio do you have?
And that's crazy to see the bigger guys with cardio, because even at my weight, at 155, those guys they get gassed out after 2 rounds, or they're like, oh, I hit weights every single day. First round, they're huffing and puffing. You see guys that are lifting weights, 350 plus pounds, and they're still able to go 5 straight rounds. Like, damn.
All right, guys, before we move on to Street Beefs, West Coast 14, again, I just want to shout out Scrap Talk. Don't miss it. This is going to be awesome. The Canadian Fire Chicken, Viking Warrior, and Jay Gotham. That's tomorrow. Scrap Talk. Make sure you guys tune in for that. I can't wait to see those guys. A lot of electric personalities over there. So with Street Beefs West Coast, they don't announce the fights ahead of time like the Scrapyard. So I'm just going to read a list of the fighters who are going out there, and we'll talk more about Street Beefs West Coast after I do. The round 1 fighters that were announced were Jimmy Fit, Knight Rider, Silent Bull, Sosa, BDW, Bill Collector, Unga Bunga, Italian Tanker, Mr. Silas, and Sweet Dreams. Round 2, we have Smoke, Glitch, Ferrari Boy, Battleborn, Earthling 7, Doughboy, Saskio, if I pronounce that wrong, my bad. Mustache, and our boy Mustache fighting, hoping to get a title fight after this. And we might be in the works to do some contact with Mustache, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I won't give up too much details because we're not sure exactly how that's going to go yet. But also, Mimo Silva, Mad Titan, Silverback, White Fang, Damonic. I'm sorry if I botched that. Third round is Chewy, Ben Bussin, Juice, Silent, No Love, and Big Texas. And if any of you missed it, Free Smoke was live last night, letting off the third round, which if you're a fan of West Coast Street Beefs, you've got to be a fan of Free Smoke. That dude just cracks me up. So with all this Street Beefs West Coast 14 coming, I know they've had some struggles. I know it's been kind of rough on them, but I'm really excited to see that everybody getting back out there. These fighters are really excited. And Buddy V, what do you think about the upcoming event?
I'm excited. I think that's gonna be killer. I'm curious to see where they're gonna host it. I know they got in trouble that one time. I'm glad that they're still able to do a lot of events. I know that they got a crazy amount of people. I am excited to see BDW, Big Daddy William. I've always been a fan of seeing him box. I remember I saw him in person. That was pretty killer at the Sandbox. Those are some good ones. I'm definitely a fan of Free Smoke. I don't think he said his name on the fight list, but I watched some of his lives, everything else. Funny dude, too. Battleborn versus Earthling 7. Ooh, I can't wait to that one. Oh.
The size of the card is huge. Like Street Beefs from when we started, like it's obviously grown and grown and grown, but we were there for kind of Street Beef Scrapyards teenage years. So it had its infancy years, and then we started following in its teenage years, and now it's going crazy. But West Coast Street Beefs is absolutely fantastic as well, and they're just going bigger and bigger and bigger. It's absolutely incredible to see, and it's very exciting. What I want to know is when are they gonna start doing some live events, some live fights?
Ooh, that's actually a good question. I know that they tried doing like a pay-per-view thing with Heart in the Fight at one time. Yeah, I wonder how they would do that. Because I know like with Street Beefs, if you follow the Demon Boys Boxing at a lot of those events when they host them live, they'll put it right there and you can follow that live. I don't think I've seen anything like that for Street Beefs Dirty South either, so that'd be definitely a good one. I think with Scrapper, we might go live for a fight or two soon. I don't know what event it's going to be at, but yeah, I want to see definitely the West Coast do live again. That would be pretty killer.
Well, and just the fact that if anybody watched the Heart in the Fight where they did the survey of how street beefs affected you and that kind of thing. Zed was on there talking real deep shit. I thought it was great how like he not threw it together, but he's the one that brought street beefs to the West Coast after fighting in the OG yard. These guys do so much good for everybody. I just can't wait to see like the fights as they get put up on YouTube. Like I'm the guy who, and I know you can't, as a content creator, you can't throw all of them up right away because you just don't have enough upload speed and for the views. But I'm a guy, I can't get enough. And I'm the asshole who will be at work draining a fish aquarium, watching a fight while it's draining or filling, you know, because as you clean aquariums, you have a lot of time on your hands as tanks drain and fill. So I get to catch up on street beefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if I've had a day where all the kids have been little shits and don't like listen to any of the lessons I'm trying to teach, I'll come back and watch some people scrapping in a backyard any day. It's fantastic. It's a great way to kind of like just alleviate some of that without having to think, oh, these guys are professionals. Like it's nice just to see some people just going at it, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, show the kid like, look, keep it up. It's gonna be you next.
But I mean, it's kind of getting to the point where these guys they're getting past that ridiculously amateur phase that Street Beefs originally was, and now you have people like Preacher's son in that who are like that. Those guys are pro. Like those guys could go pro if they really wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's cool also with when you follow, you know, the West Coast Scrapyard, the OG Yard, Dirty South, you get to see certain fighters like I said, Viking Warrior is one of the faces of the Scrapyard up here. And you get to see these people evolve too. Even someone like, you know, not like even Gash, winning fighter of the year last year. From her very first fight to all the way, every fight, she improved every single one. To the point where like I remember we fought and then it gave me the liver shot that damn near dropped me. And then all of a sudden, a couple of fights later, she's busted up both her opponent's legs so bad they couldn't even walk damn near after the fight. So, I mean, it's amazing to see the growth of every person. Some people get faster. Some people get stronger. Some people get that technique. It really is a cool thing. I know on the West Coast with Mook, I know he's been doing a lot of stuff too. I follow him. I know Lil Diesel, he's got his EMC, Elevated Mindset Combative. I mean, I followed the Oni doing a couple other bouts too. There's just so many people I can't even name them all out. I feel bad for not even naming them all. Like I see Darkness on my timeline a lot too. A lot of these people on the West Coast are connecting. They're all putting in work, and a handful of them do have those dreams to get bigger. And like you said, the platform is there, the views are there. There's all sorts of different people as this grows that is catching a lot more attention than what it already has. And I mean, anything could happen.
Well, what's great is just street beefs all around. The first one who comes into my head about when we were talking about this, if you go back to the OG Yard, go look at what Big Smile's doing. Big Smile's killing it in the amateurs right now and getting ready to get his first pro fight coming up. And it was street beefs that give these guys the confidence to get into a cage. They get to get some experience. They don't have to just walk into an amateur fight without any experience. And it just, I don't know, but I feel like as a fighter, it's got to be a weird feeling the first time the cage door shuts behind you for a real fight. And to get that out of the way in a backyard organization or a fight club or however you want to call it, I think is great. And what they're doing for people is people are going into the amateur circuit fights with a following. That's never happened. Where the hell does an amateur fighter get 600,000 views on YouTube? Like 1 million views on YouTube. Go look at what the Jay Gotham Preacher's son fight got. I mean, that's millions of views.
Yep. I mean, I agree. It's like you look at Fair Play even from the OG Yard. He just went pro. Baby Hope was doing a bunch of stuff too. I mean, was it Anthony A.B. Brown? I believe his name is. I'm spacing on it. I think that's what it is. You know, he was going up there too. They just redid a deal with DLK Prime. They're about to have some more fights back on. I mean, yeah, this platform is continuously growing and growing. And I mean, as the OG Yard grows, West Coast grows, Scrap Yard grows, Dirty South grows, and it's like each has its own fruition. It's just boom, 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 boom. I mean, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, just think about this in straight numbers as it comes to content. So, and Maddie will relate to this, but I don't know if you know who Pat McAfee is, Buddy V, but he is very big internet show for sports, okay? He's huge, and he used to be the Colts kicker. But he's got 1.5 million followers on YouTube. Street Beef's OG Yard has 1 million more followers, subscribers than Pat McAfee does. 2.5 million subscribers on Street Beef. Where are you going to get that kind of shine before you're a pro? And as a content creator, Maddie, I mean, you can talk about wrapping your head around 2.5 million subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying our best to get solidly up to 2,500 subscribers at the minute. So that's on Facebook. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see we only have 61. So if you're watching this on YouTube, guys, go subscribe to us. That'd be really nice. But yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible platform for people to kind of like progress their way through the ranks. And it's something that I hadn't learned about before meeting Jay. And Jay kind of just went to me, look, there's this thing that I think you'll really enjoy. And now I watch it probably 3 or 4 times a week. And then if we're doing one of these videos with somebody like Viking Warrior, I'll watch all of their fights before we kind of sit down to chat to them. What I want to know, Buddy V, is as our insider in the Street Beefs world, who is your fighter to watch? And I think this is something that we should do for every show. I think we should have a Buddy V's fighter to watch, and I think that should be a new segment of the show. I'm sorry for blindsiding you with it, buddy. But who is your one to watch? Your Street Beefs fighter to watch? Thank you, JJ. By the way.
I know. Oh, that was a good question. Dang. All right. Because he was doing some stuff for a while. I was originally gonna say Nasty Native with down south, but I don't know if he's fighting as much because he's doing a lot more involvement with the Dirty South and helping host some of the fights and whatnot. Oh gosh, it's a tough one. So the Scrapyard. I mean, there's so many good fighters. One of the ones I'd have to say is Turtle. I mean, I know him; he's great, but I like to see that he's improved a lot. He showed that he doesn't care about size, weight. He had that one fight where he fought someone that was 20 pounds heavier. You know, he trains at 7th Street Boxing Gym. He's with killers all the time. I feel like his skills continue to grow. And I think that, and I know he fights outside of Street Beefs too. He's gone to other states, other things in the boxing competitions. And I feel like he's definitely going to be on the rise here in these next few years. He's going to have a lot accomplished and have most of his goals done. That one is for sure. For West Coast, I mean, I've been slacking a little bit. I'm kind of nervous.
Mustache.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's say that. Mustache.
Well, just because I know he's trying to get a title fight, and he's trying to do everything he can to get a title fight, and those are the kind of guys that are driven that you're like, screw it. We need to watch what this dude does, because if you have the right mindset and the skill to go with it, then you could get there. And I know Mustache feels like he's 1 win away, maybe 2 from a title shot.
Oh, yeah. And it's like when you start to get that feeling, you just know. It's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I kind of like, on the OGR, I like Money Mail right now because I saw him with that sparring session with Showtime way bigger. He's getting in there. He's putting on fights. I love the technique that he has. He's in there. He puts his work in. He's got a lot of power mixed with speed. I feel like those would definitely be my fighters to watch. I'm sorry, Dirty South. I don't have a fighter picked yet. I'll brush up on some of the videos and I'll pick one too.
Hey, that's for the next video. We're improving on here, guys. This is us growing and improving with these live show things. We'll add more segments as we go through. Let's just go through that. Buddy V, when is your next fight? When are you thinking of fighting next?
This weekend, Saturday the 22nd. I'm excited. I don't know who my opponent is. I prefer it that way. That way I just train hard, get it in. I'm fighting at 150 instead of 155. I would prefer MMA, but if it's boxing, so be it. Kickboxing is definitely the last choice, but if I don't have a match and that's my only option, I'll take it because I'm itching to fight. I got an itch. I'm ready to scratch it.
And I mean, can we get some videos from the ring? Can we let's have a chat by the side of the ring if you're not too in the zone of the fight wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I saw Michael Jason on here comment. A quick shout out to him. I know later today after I got off the video, he's actually gonna help me do some pad work to help get me ready for the fight. We've been working on it at least once a week. So
well, we hope you win no matter who you fight. But for the show, I hope you come in with a black eye.
I actually got one quick. You can kind of see. I got a little bit of a shiner. It's healed up nicely.
There you go. There you go. That's some hard training. That's how you know.
Yeah. Essentially boxing gym, I got hit in my liver so hard I dropped in mid-training. And I stood up right after. I tried going out of it. The bell rang at the end of the training session, so I looked down. I was like, yeah, I would have kept going, but I'll take that break now.
Well, before we get out of here, let's do some shout outs again, just so people know they do pay-per-view live streams for Street Beefs West Coast on Heart in the Fight, just not for this event, but that's good to know because then we can get the fights right away and don't have to wait. But I want to give a shout out to Heart in the Fight. I think they do amazing things and I love the idea with Scrap Talk. I want to give a shout out to Peixoto and Len B for everything they do. I want to give a shout out to Overtime Hustlin' Magazine. The new episode or the new magazine's coming out. Check it out. SK the Rider made the cover of the magazine, and if you don't know who he is, his new music it's fire. Go check it out on YouTube. I want to support any content creators or anybody who supports us and or Street Beefs. I want to support because I love what they're doing, and Street Beef supports us so much. So I feel like I just want to give those shout outs to those guys because they're all out there grinding for Street Beefs also.
They're going to have Viking Warrior in their next issue as well, if you saw at the bottom, and Buddy B. Ooh.
Oh, and Buddy B. Look at that. So make sure you guys get that next edition of the Overtime Hustlin' Magazine.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fire one. You might see a little something over here. Just kidding, I can't show you.
Where can they get that from? Where can the people viewing this get the Overtime Hustling magazine from, buddy?
Actually, on the Overtime Hustling website, I believe. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say they have a link to the website on their Facebook site.
So head over now.
Yeah, head over there. And
well, after you're done here.
Yeah.
As well as support Buddy V, you can always go to zuel-world.com. One of the many few cool things I got. Ooh.
And if you want to support me, you can not sell your children e-cigarettes, and then I don't have to stay into meetings with head teachers until for 45 minutes getting told about how e-cigarettes are an epidemic. That's my plug of the show. Don't sell children e-cigarettes. Done.
Buddy, I have to say I came up, and you do not have to use it, but my new slogan for Zuel is, Zuel, whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, I like that. Hell yeah, I might have to put that on a shirt.
Well, all right, guys, that's our second live show. It's just going to get better from here. Less technical glitches. I'll figure out my end at some point. I want to thank Viking Warrior for giving us his time. Next week, we're going to have Kenny and the Terrifier both on. I'm sure we'll get some WWE style promos cut because these two were even going at it in the private chat I was in with them. So it's going to be epic and it's going to be fire. All right, guys. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.